What is up, YouTube? It is the Ville Outdoors here. Today is January 13th and we are now in 2025. Hope you all had a good holiday season and are enjoying a fresh start to a new year so far. Well, if you guys are returning viewers here on the channel, this particular spot may look familiar to you. This is one of my favorite spots for wild brown trout in the area, at least that's under an hour driving distance from my house. Now, there aren't many wild trout spots within an hour of my house, but this is one of my favorite ones to fish right here, because usually there is no one else fishing here, and that's the part I like about it. I can just kind of fish wherever, whenever I want, especially during the peak of winter when it's only 30-some degrees outside. It's been terribly cold here in southeastern Pennsylvania recently. You can see we got some snow and ice here in the creek. Thankfully, it's not too bad. I know some of the tributaries of the Schuylkill River are frozen over right now. So thankfully we have some open water here, and hopefully we don't have to deal with too much ice on the islets, except I think we're gonna have to deal with at least some. So I'm gonna get started, get rigged up here, and I'll show you what we're working with today. So today we are going to be working with the Berkley Gulp Alive 1-inch minnow. The container is a little beat up because I had it for quite some time, but we just have it rigged on a trout magnet jig head right now. So that's our presentation. It should work for these wild brown trout, and hopefully we should be able to get a bite today. We're going to be working it slow along the bottom of the creek here, in any riffles or pockets that may look to hold fish. These fish are going to be a little bit more lethargic in these colder weathers, despite them being trout. There's particular conditions where it might be too cold for what these fish are used to, or what they deal with the majority of the year. So we're going to work this along this hole first, and then we'll move upstream a little bit and hit some holes further up. If I don't freeze to death, then we might head downstream, fish some spots I don't usually fish, but let's get to casting and see if we can pull anything up here. All right, here we go. Nope, it's not a good first cast. Are we tangled already? All right, first cast. There we go, much better. I think I may have had a fish follow me in there. Let's try another cast in that spot. Alright, well, nothing out of the first hole. Let's move up to the second spot. Alright, now the last time I was here, the first trout I caught came out of this hole. So let's see if we can repeat that. That was a terrible cast. Alright, let's redo that. That was a little bit better. There's a fish. Let's see, is this a trout? Oh, it came off. I didn't get to see what it was. Dang. It was either a creek chub, fall fish, or a very small wild brown trout. It was not big by any means. It was probably only about 4 inches in length at the most. So, not extremely disappointed about losing that one, but still, that would have been our first fish of 2025. Alright, keep it moving. No, no, no. That one's not coming back. Well, there's one lost lure for the day. Oh, that's a lot of ice. Thought it was a little more shallow right there that I was walking on. Oh well. So far I've just seen suckers. I haven't seen a confirmed trout yet. I've seen things that may be trout, but nothing concrete yet. Still have yet to hit the really good holes, or at least the holes with lots of potential. Things aren't looking too great so far. Alright, so the second and only other fish I caught the last time I was here came out of this hole right in front of me. So let's see if this hole will produce our first fish of 2025. I'll get a good cast in there though. Well, I guess not. Onwards we go. Alright. This hole has a lot of potential. So we're going to spend a decent chunk of time casting through here. You always cast slightly upstream towards where the current's flowing out at. That way we can work down the water column a little bit more. We got a fish, guys. We got a fish. Get in the net. I say get in the net. My net is inside out right now. It's not helping. There we go. All right, we got our first trout of 2025. And it is a wild brown trout. I am standing up on a tree to get this guy. All right, let me get down from this tree here. About to crack. I'm getting a drink of water. We'll come over here to observe him. Get another drink. Alright. Let's get this guy unhooked here. Alright. Fish is unhooked. Set the rod down on the ice, and there he is, our first trout of 2025. All right, we are going to go ahead and let this little guy go. There he goes. Now to catch that fish, I was standing right on this part of the tree here, leaning up on this part of the tree, and then casting over here on the other side of the tree. Oh, that was quite the interesting way to start off 2025 with our first fish catch. But I'm glad it worked out, and we got a beautiful brown trout on the board. My hand I just wet for that fish is going to be cold now. I do have some hot hands in my pocket, so I'll use that to warm back up, but we are on the board in 2025. All right, so this is pretty much the angle I had trying to reel that fish in. And right down there's a bunch of sticks and twigs, so you got to make sure your line is up before you hit that part. So it doesn't give you a whole lot of room to drop down there and jig. You're kind of limited. See, I think I'm already in the sticks. Yep. You might lose this one. Well, not a fish, but trout magnet jig head. Oh well. I think about it's time to fish our way back anyway. Alright guys, that is going to be it for today's video. Not a very long video, but hard to make a longer video when we only caught one fish. Conditions were tough today. I think the cold spell we've had for like the first 2 weeks of January really hurt the fishing today. We didn't get very many bites at all, but we did catch one fish, and I got to be thankful for that. So we had to pull some strings to get that fish and put ourselves in a difficult position to land a fish, but it worked out for us. I ended up walking downstream further than I usually do to fish some new waters, see if there's anything to return back to. And I found a couple holes, but they just weren't producing any fish, unfortunately. So we're gonna make our way back to the car. It's just about 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and we're supposed to have some stronger winds coming in at 1:30. So I want to get out of here before then. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, the one fish video. I know it probably wasn't the most exciting, but first video of the year, you know, we got to work out the kinks still. So yeah, this is the setup I used today. My Ugly Stik Elite rod. This is a 6-foot medium light Shimano Sedona 2500 HG reel. That line is Leland's 2-pound S.O.S trout line. And then we got the Berkley 1-inch Gulp Minnow on there, along with the 1/64 ounce Trout magnet jig head. Sun's beginning to peek out, which means the bite that would have happened is probably going to die out anyway. So yeah, let's get out of here, have some lunch, and figure out our next fishing adventure. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys on the next episode of the Ville Outdoors.